Welcome back. So, I wanted to continue this conversation on my Christian dating journey with expressing the kind of Christian that I am. The kind of Christian that allows a 38 young lady, young woman, to be single all this time. And why this is why it took me so long to find someone that I felt worthy of dating. And it really stems from the kind of Christian I am. So I know, there's a lot of different kind of Christians out here. Like, you have Christians who say they're Christian, but they act very differently. You have Christians who act like Christians, but they don't call themselves Christians. They don't want to have the title. You just have, you have Christians who are redeemed and are striving to do better than they ever have in the past. And you have Christians who are just living their life and doing whatever it is that comes to mind to do, but in the name of God, because they know there is grace and God is forgiving. Okay, that is not the kind of Christian I am. So I am the kind of Christian who speaks and does what God asks of me. And there's so many people like myself out here, honestly, but you don't see it enough, right? It is important for me to not only follow the word of God, not only to speak about it, not only to read about it, not only to tell people about it, but I want to live it. And that's why I'm still single. Why? Because I find that in order to find a mate, in order to find someone who I can live a life with that is conducive of me going to heaven, I have to find someone like that. I have to find someone who not only talks the talk, but walk the walk. And I had not been able to find that individual. And again, no one is perfect. I'm not perfect. And I'm not looking for someone who is perfect. But what I was not finding until perhaps now is an individual who can back up their title of Christianity with actions of what a Christian does. A person who's kind in action, in words, a person who doesn't curse, a person who doesn't get, fumingly angry and can't contain themselves, a person who's pure at heart and in body, a person who knows the word of God, understands the word of God, can hold a conversation about the word of God, a person who attends church on a regular intervals every Saturday. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, so I attend church on Saturdays. A person who, is a Christian in front of their friends, in front of their family, at work, on the street. A person who, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, so there's a prophetess, Ellen G. White, who speaks about the kind of man that this world is in need of. And once I find the quote, I can read it to you guys to show you the kind of Christian man I was looking for, right? So it's important for me to find a Christian man who is very similar to the Christian woman that I am. And what I don't agree with is women who settle for a man and don't think that their Christian walk will affect them eventually, right? It is much easier for anyone, woman or man, to pull another individual down and cause them to be more secular and to lose faith and to lose heart and to lose their journey, their walk with God, than it is for someone to bring the individual up in walking with God and, reading the Bible and going to church. It's harder, right? And so again, it is because I am that kind of Christian who, when I say I'm going to do a thing, I do a thing. I'm the kind of Christian who doesn't curse and, who says kind things, who, reads my Bible as often, if not daily, as I can, who does my Sabbath school lesson, because I love a Sabbath school as a Seventh-day Adventist. Maybe you know about it, but even if I was a Sunday keeper, I'm sure I'd love Sunday school. So it's kind of the same thing. I go to church just to learn about the Bible before they teach the sermon, right? I love gospel music. I don't like secular music. I do listen to some secular music, depending if they're inspirational. I'm the kind of Christian who, I'm always happy because I have the joy of God in my heart, even though I'm not, I do have my sad moments, but, people who know me, they know that I'm usually always smiling, always laughing. I'm always upbeat. I have a kind word for everyone, right? I want to do good. I love being good. I'm not the Christian who's afraid of people telling me that, oh, I'm a goody two-shoe, or who's afraid of standing out or standing up for God. I'm the kind of Christian who always have the word of Jesus in my mouth. I am the kind of Christian who wears my heart at my sleeve, who wears my religion at my sleeve at times. I don't force feed religion down anyone's throat, but I am a Christian who lives my faith, and anyone who knows me knows I'm a Christian. You will see me in the street waiting at the bus stop, and it has happened, where a person will approach me and say, are you Seventh-day Adventist? Are you a Christian? And I love that. I'm that Christian. I'm the kind of Christian who upholds rules and regulations. When, the 10 commandments, I make sure by the grace of God that I don't break them, and any other rule and regulation that coincides with them, because obviously, not all the 10 commandments or not all the rules and regulations in life are written in 10 commandments, even though they encompass like everything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the kind of person who really wants to do what's right, who seeks to do what's right. I'm the kind of Christian who sits down and meditates on my life to see what can I do to improve me today, to make me a better Christian, to get me closer to God. What am I doing that is hindering me from having a better connection with God? I'm the kind of Christian who tries to inspire people every day to do good, to be kind, to be optimistic, to see God's work and grandeur and his glory in everything, in all things. I'm the kind of Christian, when things bad happen to me, I think about what is the lesson in this, and how can I learn from this, and what can I do to improve my circumstance, and God, how do I give God glory in this? I'm that kind of Christian. Right? And it's important to know what kind of Christian you are as you are on your journey to find a man, to find a spouse, to find a boyfriend, to find a significant or other, to find any relationship, to connect with anyone. Because if you cannot define your Christian walk for yourself, if you don't know who you are as an individual and how you relate to religion, to faith, to God, to your values, to your boundaries, to whatever it is that causes you to be a whole individual, and that's what God does, you will be swayed left and right by any persuasion, by any person's inclinations. I am not that one. And I was set in my ways from a childhood that, I decide for me what I will do with my life and how I will lead my life. And by the guidance of my parents and my upbringing, I know that I'm in the right way. So I will not allow anyone to lead me astray. And it's always been that way with me. I remember being in college, undergrad.